All right. Hello and welcome to Lesson 3 of the Introduction to Hatha Yoga course. I'm Abby with Zen Dragon Studio, and today's lesson is about principles of breath. So essentially, we are going to be combining what we have learned in the first two lessons of the course today, along with looking at a couple other breath principles. If you have just joined the course, please check out the description below to see links to the first two lessons. I highly recommend watching them before you begin this lesson. So there are several principles in Hatha Yoga. We're just going to cover a couple of them in this course for simplicity's sake, as this is an introduction course. So to begin, the breath is the guiding principle of our practice. And the breathing technique we use is ujjai. So in our practice today, we are going to be using ujjai for the majority of the practice. And the first principle we'll look at is breath movement is body movement. So your body movement, essentially, it follows your breath. So you want to make sure that in your practice, you're not changing your breath, you're changing your movement to fit your breath. And this comes into our other principle we're going to look at, and that is enveloping of the breath. So this means that your movement fits inside of your breath. So you will begin your breath just before you begin your movement, and your movement will end just before your breath ends. And if you're having trouble with getting the movement inside the breath, either speed it up or slow it down depending on what you need to do for that. All right, so without further ado, we will begin Lesson 3, seated on your mat. All right, if you want to join me in a comfortable upright seated position on your mat, make sure your spine is up straight, and you can slightly tuck your chin in towards your chest. And when you're ready, you can close your eyes. And just begin to breathe. Just use your natural breath. We're not going to use ujjai just yet. This is just an opportunity to connect with your breath and yourself, and to leave everything else off your mat today. Just notice your breath. As you inhale, expand your chest, your ribs, and your belly. As you exhale, release your belly, ribs, chest. Inhale, chest, ribs, belly. And exhale, belly, ribs, chest. And continue like this for a few more breaths at your own pace with your natural breath. Inhaling, chest, ribs, belly, and exhaling, belly, ribs, chest. Inhaling, chest, ribs, belly, and exhaling, belly, ribs, chest. Continuing this pattern, begin to use ujjai, created with a slight constriction in the back of your throat. Continue with ujjai with this breath pattern, inhaling, chest, ribs, belly, and exhaling, belly, ribs, chest with ujjai. open your eyes. I invite you to continue using ujjai and that same breathing pattern for as long as you can throughout our practice today. If at any point you need to stop and breathe naturally for a little bit, that's perfectly fine. Do what you need to for your practice today. So we're going to begin with a standing flow, and we're going to practice enveloping the breath. So you want to join me at the top of your mat. I'm going to stay in the center of my mat so that you can see me better. So we're going to be in mountain pose. You want your feet about hip width distance apart, bringing your weight slightly more forward into the front of the feet, slight bend in the knees, shoulders pulled back, and crown lifted. And we're going to inhale the arms up overhead, beginning your breath just before you move and ending the movement just before the breath ends. And on your exhale, we're going to fold forward from the hip crease, beginning the exhale before you begin to fold, and stopping the fold just before your exhale ends. Inhale your arms up overhead, and exhale, palms down the heart center. We're going to continue this a few more times. Go with the rhythm of your own breath. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Inhale begins just before the movement. Movement ends just before the inhale ends. And exhale, fold forward. Breath begins before the movement, and movement ends before the breath ends. Inhale your arms up overhead. And exhale, palms down, heart center. Couple more with your own breath. Last one. Beautiful. Now we're going to incorporate those principles into our sun salutations. So we're going to do 6 sun salutations with ujjai. Just do your best. If you need to pause and take a break, that's perfectly okay. So we're going to practice ujjai as well as our enveloping principle. So the breath begins before the movement, movement ends before the breath ends. So coming to the top of your mat, mountain pose if you weren't already there. Weight slightly forward in the feet. Slight bend in the knees, shoulders back, crown lifted. Inhale the arms up overhead with ujjai. Exhale, palms down, heart center, ujjai. Inhale the arms up overhead, and exhale to fold forward, placing the hands on either side of the feet. Inhale, step your left foot back into low lunge, dropping the back knee. Exhale, step the right foot back into downward facing dog. Breath retention, bring your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale through cobra pose. And exhale, push your hips back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward into low lunge, dropping the back knee. And exhale, bring your right foot forward in the forward fold. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Then exhale, palms down the heart center. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale to fold forward, hands on either side of the feet. Inhale, step your right foot back, low lunge. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Breath retention, knees, chest, chin to the mat. Inhale through cobra pose. And exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward into low lunge. And exhale, step forward into forward fold. Inhale, the arms up overhead. And exhale, the hands down heart center. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Exhale to fold forward into forward fold. Inhale, step your left foot back, low lunge. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Breath retention, knees, chest, chin to the mat. Inhale through cobra pose. And exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward into low lunge. Exhale, step forward into forward fold. Inhale, the arms up overhead. And exhale, palms down to heart center. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, step back, right foot, low lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath retention, knees, chest, chin to the mat. Inhale through cobra pose. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward, low lunge. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, palms to heart center. These last two, you do with the rhythm of your own breath. I'm not going to guide them, right? When you're finished, go ahead and meet us in mountain pose with your hands at heart center. And just take a couple breaths before we transition down to the mat for some silent sitting. And inhale your arms up. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into down dog. Let's take a couple breaths here. And drop your knees. And make your way into a comfortable seated position once again. So spine straight, crown lifted. Go ahead and close your eyes. Come back to your ujjai breath. Breathing, chest, ribs, belly. And exhaling, belly, ribs, Just sitting like this. And just notice the effects of the practice today. You can go ahead and release ujjai and release the breathing pattern. Just breathe normally for a few breaths. Just really noticing any changes in your body. Already open your eyes. Alright, that's lesson 3. I hope you enjoyed this practice, and I'll see you next time for lesson 4. Namaste.